Up out of here, Stu.
You definitely want to get closer, Dad.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Sick.
Good?
Yeah, we're going. We'll just chat and wait for people to show up here.
All right.
Man, it's great working with me on this job.
It's awesome having you here. It's just like, I can't wait to start pulling wire. We're ready, right?
We are. Yeah, we just placed our second material list. If we get by with only 2 material lists, the supply house, that's a win right there. But
Huge.
if it's a third, we will. It's beautiful. The weather is fantastic. Like in the shade here, it feels almost like neutral.
We love it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get up on the roof at 10 degrees.
Yeah. And I used to work on a 16-acre property.
Oh, dude.
And I'll tell you later.
Yeah, okay.
So we always gauge the success of our project on how many trips it was back to the shop to get something. And that helped me a lot up here because you got to always think ahead, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a real mental, it's a rigorous mental discipline that requires a high level of experience in order to map a job without just running all over the city all the time. Like literally 2-3 times a day to get stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of nails and you're out of oil for the gun and you're out of, it never stops. Never stops. Then of course, if you overspend, there's Rad.
What's up, Rad?
What's up, guys? Rad's glad. He's not yet a dad. Soon, not long. Yeah. Let's get. We got people jumping in. Paul, I'm gonna launch here.
Okay.
Ask you some questions.
All right.
Tell me about the family you grew up in.
So you can relate to this. I'm one of 8 kids.
Okay.
4 boys and 4 girls, just like your family.
Yeah. So that's officially, I'd say, a big family. No getting around that.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Very seldom do you come across families larger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm number 6 in line. I'm the youngest son, and it was never the boys against the girls. It was always the older 4 and the younger 4.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many were in the younger 4? 2 girls, 2 boys?
3 girls and me.
Okay. So you had alignment with them. Are you still close to them today?
Yes, like one of those sisters lives right around the corner, and I see her every day, and I absolutely love it.
Wow, that's really special. That's cool. Where did the family grow up?
Started in Lafayette, Louisiana, and grew up in Baton Rouge. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, and that's my hometown.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you have a Southern accent you can turn on if you want to?
I do not.
No,
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Jordan says that's a lie.
Get him to say like, oh my gosh, what's the one word you say? It has something to do with construction. You say it all the time. Y'all.
Say y'all.
No, it's it'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Roughs. We call them roughs.
Right.
We say creeks instead of creeks.
Oh,
Like we have some weird stuff we say. I don't actually say that, but a lot of Hoosiers do. And in fact, my mom's family comes from Lafayette, Indiana. So.
Right. Yeah. So I think a lot of the Southern accent you see, people just have that in their head because they see that on TV and that's what Hollywood portrays. But
yeah, but not everybody in the South has an accent. See, that's actually surprising to me. What jobs did you have? Fast forwarding to your kind of like teen years, or maybe you had jobs as a kid. A lot of people in your generation that had jobs when they were 5-6 years old. What jobs did you have?
I started
before this.
Cutting grass for money at 9 years old.
Nice.
And I remember cutting one particularly large piece of property. They gave me $25, and I thought that was all the money in the entire world.
That's great. You don't become a workhorse out of nothing, right? That work ethic starts really young.
Right. $25 to a 12-year-old in 1975 was, oh my gosh.
Can you imagine? What did you do with that money? What was like the first thing you would do when that money comes in the door?
I probably started buying tools.
Yeah. Okay. And was that by means of direct deposit, or how did they pay you?
Cash. All cash. There were no ATMs back then.
Okay.
Coins.
Yeah.
What next job? What was the next job you had?
So I went to a private all-boys high school.
Okay.
And
was there like a parallel all-girls high school across the river?
2 streets away.
2 streets away. Okay, that's
and so they had a program where you worked at the school, you worked in the maintenance department of the school. They paid you a paycheck, and then it was between you and your parents to work out how that money got spent. Towards tuition, towards clothes, whatever.
Okay.
So I did that my entire high school career, and then.
Did you pay your own way through then? Well, how did your parents? Because 8 kids, a lot of mouths to feed.
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
I can't see them giving you a lot of blow money to go out and
Yeah.
spend on
No.
firecrackers.
Yeah, and so after I graduated high school, I continued to work there when I was in college. And then I went to work for a mechanical contractor, my first desk job, worked there 4 years.
Great.
They did huge projects, malls, hospitals, universities, 1,200-ton centrifugal chillers. And I got to learn the other side of business, the desk side, right? I worked with the accountants, so very valuable knowledge for me.
Yes.
And then my mentor at the high school retired. They called me and said, would I like to come run the place, run the maintenance department? And I jumped at it.
Wow.
And then I did that for another 20 years.
Wow.
The brothers and the staff that I worked for gave me 100% support. They built me a huge shop. Anything I needed, it was there. And it was a great time in our life. That's when we got married. That's when I bought a house, started a family. And I'm still very close with a lot of those people that I worked with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that in Baton Rouge?
That was in Baton Rouge, yep. And working in commercial maintenance, you see everything. Elevators, storefronts, door closers, panic bars, locks, kitchen equipment. And that's where I learned a lot. That's where I learned a lot of what I know today.
Wow.
But I also had a thirst for it, right? I just loved learning. My dad could do anything. If there's such a gene for this, what we do, and that gets passed down, I feel like I got it.
Wow.
My grandfather was a builder in Baton Rouge, so there's a lot of his home still there.
That's great. So were you mostly during those 20 years hands-on performing the repairs or running the teams and pulling the levers?
We did almost everything. What we didn't do, if we got into three-phase electric, I'm on the phone. And we had a great electrical subcontractor. Those guys would let me just shadow them, pester them, ask them questions. And I still, George, those guys, just a wealth of knowledge. To see them bend, I shared this story before online, to see them bend 4-inch rigid conduit into concentric bends, just amazing.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. With just a level and a little jack, right? And so then my family moved to California, and I started my own construction company out there doing remodels.
Okay. Residential?
Yep. I had a project lined up even before we moved.
Wow.
And then we did that for I think about till 2012, I guess.
What part of Cali?
Ventura County, just north of Los Angeles.
Great.
Yeah.
So 2012 is when you wrapped that up?
We started, yeah. Then got a desk job because the economy crashed, right? Nobody was doing anything in construction, even if they had money.
That was the 08-09 crash?
Yeah. Tried to hang on until 2012,
11.
then just got a desk job.
Yeah.
And actually worked at a retirement center also in maintenance. And we moved back to Baton Rouge. So my youngest son could go to the same high school I went to.
Wow.
And that his grandfather went to. So he was third generation.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We actually flew from Los Angeles into New Orleans for that picture of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
All 3 generations?
My dad had passed away, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
What are your kids' names in order?
Jordan.
Jordan, have I met Jordan? Would anybody know Jordan?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. Got it, Jordan.
And, our only daughter, Summer, and then Spencer and Josh.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's great. What prepared you? I mean, it sounds like everything prepared you for what you're doing today. I mean, everything from the age of 9, fixing, mowing, working, all the way through.
Right.
When did Stud Pack begin? What was the commencement for that?
It was in 2019, just over 4 years ago. Jordan was living in Plano, Texas.
All right.
When we had moved back to Baton Rouge, we decided we were going to flip houses. So our very first flip, I'm in there tearing off drywall or whatever I was doing. Summer and Mom stopped by, and Summer took a little video of me and posted it on, I don't know, Snapchat or something. Jordan saw it. Jordan had 2 thoughts. Dad needs a YouTube channel, and Dad needs my help. Can't work alone anymore.
Wow, no way. So Summer was a catalyst.
Summer was.
Your wife.
She still claims that she was.
Absolutely.
Did she get royalties on that?
Yeah, we helped her.
You help her out. That's good. I mean, you employ her husband. Fantastic.
Yeah, so Jordan moved, started the YouTube channel. So if any of you are ever interested in seeing our very first video, check it out and please comment. It's pretty funny seeing the progression of our channel and me really on camera from that video to now.
Yeah. You cringe when you watch the early videos?
I can't, they're unwatchable.
They're unwatchable. I feel the same way.
Who's that guy?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody give him a haircut? That's so good. Is there anything you dislike about what you do today? Is that like any behind the scenes is just grind, drudge, wish you could outsource, get rid of?
It's a good question. I'm one of those guys, I always want to be doing something. So when we can't be working and we're waiting on something, it kind of drives me nuts, right?
Is that related to like the production, video production, just the process and timing? And
it is, and having moved here and not knowing anybody or knowing where to get stuff, that takes a lot of time to figure out. But we're getting there.
it's all your vendor relationships and
Yeah.
how that facilitates the job. That's great. What's like the one thing that you want to tell us that your viewers maybe don't know about you?
So I have so many interests. Sometimes it's hard to concentrate on one. So the advice I give people when they ask me what should I do, learn as much as you can about everything that interests you, but be a master at one of them, right? So be great at one thing, but be good at lots of things.
Great.
Yeah.
What's your chief strength? Not necessarily like a trait, but like
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
your little Paul superpower. Might have to ask Jordan Rad.
So if I had a superpower, it's that I was never afraid to try anything. I had one of my best friends today. I remember he had a 1981 Z28 Camaro, and he wanted to change the exhaust system. So at the high school, we had welding equipment. He asked me,
No way.
Can I come over and change the muffler? And we jumped right in there and welded that muffler.
Read a dozen books for, spent hours at the library, just went in and hacked the thing out.
Yep.
Superpower is fearless.
Yeah, we had to build something out of stainless steel once. I had a MIG welder, but it wasn't set up for stainless, so I learned how to make stainless. Needed a plasma cutter. The staff told me I could buy a plasma cutter.
No way.
And then we could just make anything out of steel or stainless steel. So that's why I want a welder, Jordan.
So, sneak peek, can I say that the dryer plug?
Sure.
It's going to get turned into a welder plug, right? So we're outside the wire for that.
Really? Wow.
Jordan's not happy. This garage is sweet. It is for his Mustang. I almost said Camaro.
Right.
It's for his Mustang. I mean, some of the features in here that might as well be in an apartment for a car. You know that, right?
Really?
The garage is like an apartment for a car.
It's conditioned.
His child is conditioned.
It's going to have a finished floor. It has its own pressure washer on the wall.
Yeah.
Probably some kind of wall-mounted vacuum cleaner.
A mini split. I mean, it's it's pretty slick. It's really nice. I love it. Paul, thanks. I'm going to check the chats here and see if we've got any comments.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Just everybody saying that they're excited to see you guys on camera together. And let's see.
Guys, just a heads up, we're going to be here tomorrow, same time, doing a live chat with Jordan, the man himself. The dude is brilliant. Like, he is driving this I mean, you've got your intelligences that are physical to build, to construct, and then Jordan from like a producer standpoint. You guys are the Batman and Robin right here. I'm not sure which is which, but
we always comment that these guys and girls that have these channels that do it all.
Yeah.
They do the filming. They're the focus, and they do all the editing. I'm just like, there's no way I couldn't have
Really?
done that. Yeah.
brilliant.
How's your body doing
It's good.
with the build? It's pretty intense,
I
probably.
feel like I've lost a few pounds.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing good. I feel like I'm keeping up with YouTube pretty good. The roof was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said you're not scared to try new things, but I don't know, the way you got up and down that roof, it's all a little fear in you.
Well, I tried it.
Yeah,
I wasn't good at it, but I did it.
You didn't repel though, did you? I didn't see
No.
repel like out of you. It's just
No.
rad.
Right.
Can you see the chat on the computer?
Yeah,
Cool.
let's hit it up here.
Not too many questions on there, but maybe we can ask them to feed some questions.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we're gonna be on for another 5 minutes, probably max.
The Rusty Nut is actually watching the stream while replacing every receptacle in a house. So that's appropriate because we're right there with him.
Nice.
What's the name of the dog in the window? Crystal wants to know.
Buster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Buster.
Do you have any pets?
So
Is that Paul's dog?
no. So this is what I learned about Buster yesterday. I can walk down the street without my tool belt when he's outside, not a sound. But if I'm wearing my tool belt, it's a different animal. He's coming through the fence at me. Something about wearing tools.
Wow.
He wants your belt. He loves it.
He loves that Diamondback tool belt.
Yeah.
Mm. Where David wants to know where he can learn Electricity 101. Where's a good place to go?
Yeah, electricproacademy.com.
Easy.
Check it out. Got over about 300 videos that just walk you through all kinds of electrical work in a more dynamic way. You can pick up a book from the library or off the shelf at your home store, but a lot of times electricians, guys like us, we don't learn well off of two-dimensional. We like that multi-dimensional where it's more touching, feeling, experiencing. And so we've tried to create that at Electric Pro Academy.
Right. Talk about the foundation a little bit, Dad. How, what did we, just some of what we learned from that process, how it affected us, and yeah, just go into that just a little bit.
Yeah, it's still affecting me. This foundation was brutal. I mean, if we could show you the house foundation, it is literally sitting on concrete blocks
We'll walk them over there.
that are on a little pad.
It's crazy to me.
Holding up that house and holding up the neighbor's house. That is it.
Even the nice houses. It's
Yeah.
not like this is a mobile home trailer. It's an
Correct,
exception.
Right.
This slab, 30 inches deep on the grade beams, I think, or 3 feet, 30 inches deep, 18 inches wide, massive rebar,
Yeah.
8 trucks, 9 trucks, something
Yeah.
like that. Incredible foundation.
And
Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the weather, right? It was the wettest first 5 months of the year in recent Houston history.
Right.
And this has been the record-breaking hottest summer in the past 50 years.
Right.
So best year to build a house.
We did the groundwork in the wettest part of the year,
Horrible.
and we did the framing in the hottest part of the year.
Oh my.
So what we learned is for the house build, we're going to do the foundation in the summer when it's rock hard, and we'll do the framing in the fall and the winter when it's cold.
Right.
Wow.
So you got to come back and help us. Bring your framing gear.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to. I'll put the kids to work too. They were touring the site this morning. Man, that's what you get with experience, right? Every build builds on the previous one.
But I will say this slab is awesome. I was walking through a house under construction, at my friend's, it was his neighbor's, and the slab halfway framed, it's already cracking.
Mm.
Because we don't see this kind of prep work going into slabs around here.
No.
They just scrape off the dirt and they pour.
Right.
So I love this foundation, even though it was a ton of work.
Yeah.
Mm.
What has been your favorite part to build? And Joel, what's your favorite part of this build? So what was your favorite part to build, and what was your favorite part of the build?
I'll have to say that one of my favorite parts was the stairs. Love the stairs.
Oh.
I don't love going up and down them 100 times a day,
Yeah.
but I love building them. And
That's why you're losing all those pounds that you mentioned earlier.
I really enjoyed putting down the Advantech. I love that second floor. It is flat, solid. Love it.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Rad has to be one of my favorite parts of this build, man. The dude is so cheerful and has a great attitude and affects everything, everybody.
Mhm.
At a more granular level, I love the 2x6 exterior stud walls that gives our SCR a big cable more turning radius.
Right.
It's just like practical, but like makes a difference. I'd say, but first, from a build standpoint, it's the fact that Jordan's got a vision. This is not just a build. This is a passion. And we all get forced to just produce work, right?
Mhm.
At some time or other in our life, or for most of our lives, for all of us, right? We're just producing work. We're just churning it over. We're not necessarily always proud of it. It's not necessarily, capturing the imagination. It's not necessarily stimulating, energizing. But when you get to just take the time and energy on a project like this that is a passion and not just a build,
Right.
like that everything's elevated. You guys, you got to stick around. You got to see the toilet.
Yeah.
Like you got to see the wall mounted pressure washer. You got to see, like, there's just all kinds of stuff. The LED,
Our DC Powerball.
our DC power, like it makes it fun and exciting. Like now we're not just mechanics, we're artists.
And I don't think it's going to ever be a house for him because he's going to know every board, every nail, every screw, every piece of trim because we put it in.
Yeah, you can almost like just stop and start writing a story on each component of the house.
Right.
Like, let me tell you what happened here.
Right.
And that's what you guys get to join the StudPack team on, is the story of the house.
What are we gonna do differently on the main house?
I love the 2x6 exterior walls. The plans have those for the first floor, second floor is 2x4. I think 2x6s on the exterior walls are great for a lot of reasons.
Yep.
We're in Texas, so we don't need all the extra insulation, but
You gonna cover the difference?
I'll pitch it. 50 bucks.
there you go. We got it on video. He'll pitch it.
It's interesting to me that in Texas, yes, it gets super, super hot. It doesn't get really, really cold. Like it freezes a few times a winter, but the air sealing and the detail on the air sealing that these guys put into the houses is not just for climate, like we think about in most parts of the northern half of the country. It's bug sealing, right? The bugs are so intense. You have to outsmart, outthink, outwit. It's like Survivor, you and the bugs, and someone's moving off the island. And that's where a lot of this detail becomes really highly relevant.
Right.
It's just keep those bugs at bay. And you think you've done it.
Well, we saw a bunch of ants trying to get in through the seal plate out front, and they were looking for another way.
Yeah. I've never seen an ant look so clueless.
That's great.
They're freaking out.
It's huge.
Yeah, because I grew up in a house that was raised foundation, no insulation under there, probably no insulation in the walls. An air conditioner in an attic that's 140 degrees. It's the analogy of trying to make ice cream in an oven, right?
Mm.
So I'm really excited about the mechanical systems we have here, how tightly sealed. On the house, I would like to put maybe Zip R on the house. For the garage build, I don't think we needed it, but Zip R with that layer of foam around the entire outside, like an ice chest, really appeals to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Mhm.
And then you cut all the thermal breaks too.
Yep.
Thermal bridges.
Yep.
Create a thermal break.
And you and I have already been talking about minimizing the number of penetrations through the outside wall. And when we do have to do it, we'll make it as small as possible.
Yeah.
So it's a real change of thinking, I think, for contractors. And this is our first house build, so we're doing some things wrong. We're learning along the way, but I'm thrilled with the way it's turned out.
Yeah. Do you like the sequence? Did you get to learn here and then apply lessons learned to the house?
That was the whole concept.
Mm.
Do the small building first. It's like sometimes we say this on our channel, go practice at your friend's house and then come to your house, right? So, we'll go practice at your house and then we'll come to it.
Yeah, I'll take some of that. I got some work. I got some jobs.
You have an old house, right?
1938.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very well built, 1938, but our previous house was 1902. Now to look at insulation anywhere, tried to do a blower door test, and the dude's like, I can get no pressure, zero, none. You're gonna have to like call me back.
Yeah.
So we did. We spray foamed, and we did a whole bunch of stuff to it. Anything else?
Yeah, Dad. Why don't you talk about the transition from being a contractor and working for clients? You touched on it a bit earlier about, and you also touched on it where you're being forced to complete maybe somebody else's vision, but how's the transition going from contractor and filming your work that you're doing for other people to YouTuber filming the work that we're doing because we're passionate about it? What that transition's been like?
So it's been really different for me the past couple of years. People ask me what I do, and I say I'm a full-time YouTuber, and they're like, "What? You're too old for that." But that's what we are, really.
Yeah.
And what's unique about our channel, we are full-time YouTubers that are building a house. The channel is a priority in the Jordan.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love building a house for my son. I think it's kind of that's how the country started, right? Families built houses for each other, for their communities. And I wouldn't want to do anything else right now.
Great.
Some days I would.
You guys get along great. Like this
Yeah.
this job site has got fantastic dynamics.
Yeah.
Can you see yourself doing this for another 5 years?
Physically, yeah. I think it's gonna take us that long.
30th.
Memorial Day.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's great.
So I always watched the Indy 500 the weekend before, and this year my family threw me an awesome James Bond themed 60th birthday party and rented me a Ferrari.
Oh.
My last name,
Hold on,
if
guys.
they don't know,
Hold on, guys. The sound is busted. Give me 1 second. I'm just reading comments and they're saying, let me see if it's good now. Ah, you're good. You just gotta refresh it. Yeah, it's fine.